So, they say eating 2 squares of dark chocolate a day can dramatically improve your health, especially after you hit 60. And if I'm being honest, I thought that sounded a little too good to be true. I've heard it all before. The superfoods, the miracle cures. Could something I actually enjoy really boost my energy and clear up this brain fog I've been wrestling with for the last few years? It felt like a long shot. But then, I looked into the science, and it was surprisingly convincing. So I decided to put it to the test. For 30 days, I became my own guinea pig. I ate dark chocolate every single day, and what happened was not at all what I was expecting. Speaking directly to the camera with a skeptical but curious tone, before we get into the results, let me set the stage. I'm north of 60, and for the past few years, I've felt a real shift. My energy just isn't what it used to be. That get up and go feeling, well, it got up and went. Most afternoons around 2 or 3 p.m., a wave of fatigue would hit me like a ton of bricks. It wasn't just being tired, it was a thick brain fog that made it hard to concentrate or even find the right words. My focus felt scattered, like a radio station that just wouldn't tune in. I'd tried the usual tricks. More sleep, less afternoon caffeine, even those brain training apps. Nothing made a lasting difference. So when I stumbled upon dark chocolate as a health fix, my inner cynic rolled his eyes. Chocolate, the stuff of candy bars, sounded like wishful thinking. But then my curiosity got the better of me, and I started digging. It turns out, this isn't about indulging a sweet tooth. The science is serious. I learned about these incredible compounds in dark chocolate called flavonols, powerful antioxidants. I read about a fascinating study out of the University of California, San Francisco. In the study, people with heart disease who drank a high flavanol cocoa beverage for 30 days actually doubled the number of circulating stem cells in their bodies. Now, stem cells are our body's master repair crew, essential for regenerating everything from our blood vessels to our brain. As we age, our stem cell function declines, which is a big reason we don't bounce back as quickly. The idea that a simple food could wake up these healing cells was, frankly, mind-boggling. And it didn't stop there. Other research, including studies connected with Harvard Medical School, showed that cocoa flavanols could significantly increase blood flow to the brain in a matter of weeks. This improved circulation was linked to better memory and faster thinking in older adults. Suddenly, my brain fog didn't seem so invincible. The science suggested that improved blood flow could be like turning up the water pressure, clearing things out and letting everything run smoothly again. That solid foundation of evidence is what finally convinced me. My skepticism was still there, but now it had some scientific curiosity to keep it company. So I set the rules for my 30-day experiment, simple but specific. Rule number 1, 2 squares of dark chocolate every single day. Rule number 2, it had to be high quality, with 70% or more cacao. The research is clear, the benefits are in the cacao, not the sugar. Rule number 3, I'd eat it in the morning or early afternoon to avoid the small amount of caffeine messing with my sleep. I found a 72% cacao bar with minimal sugar and started my journey. I kept a daily journal, rating my energy and mental clarity from 1 to 10. Before day 1, my average energy was a 410, and my mental clarity was maybe a 5 on a good day. I was ready. Skeptical, but ready. Week 1, the honeymoon phase. Or is it just chocolate? Honestly, the first week felt a little ridiculous. Here I was, dutifully eating 2 squares of dark chocolate with my morning coffee, waiting for a miracle. For the first few days, the only thing I noticed was that I was enjoying a nice treat. It felt more like a daily indulgence than a health protocol. My energy stayed put at a 4 out of 10. The 3 p.m. slump arrived right on schedule, and the brain fog was as thick as ever. On day 3, I wrote in my journal, enjoying the chocolate but feel no different. Is this just an excuse to eat candy for a month? My inner cynic was having a field day. I had to remind myself that the studies pointed to changes over a full month, not overnight. Patience was key. Toward the end of the week, though, I noticed something subtle. It wasn't a jolt of energy, like coffee. It was less of a negative. I realized on day 6 that I hadn't felt that completely drained. I need a nap right now feeling. The fatigue was there, but it was less of a crushing wave. Was it the chocolate? Or was it just a placebo effect? I couldn't be sure. My journal for day 7 read, energy still low, maybe a 4.5. But the afternoon crash felt less severe. Mental clarity is still a foggy 5. Sticking with it. Week 2. The first glimmer of hope. Week 2 is when things got interesting. The change was still subtle, but it was there. The first real sign came during my morning crossword puzzle. Usually, I'd get stuck and have to come back later. But on day 9, I breezed right through it. The words just appeared. It felt like a rusty gear in my brain finally got some oil. My focus was sharper. By day 12, my energy was more consistent. The afternoon slump hadn't vanished, but it was a shadow of its former self. I was making it through the day without feeling that desperate need to collapse on the couch. I rated my energy a solid 6 out of 10. This lined up with what the research suggested. The flavonols in dark chocolate are known to help improve blood flow. It felt like my whole system was getting a tune-up, delivering more oxygen and nutrients right where they were needed, especially to my brain. I wrote on day 14. Something is definitely happening. I feel more switched on. The fog isn't gone, but it's thinner. I feel more engaged in conversations. Energy is a 6, mental clarity a 6.5. Maybe there's something to this after all. It was at this halfway point, feeling that first real shift, that I started to get genuinely excited. If you've ever felt that frustrating drain on your energy and focus, consider subscribing. I'm documenting this whole process to see what really works, and I'd love for you to follow along. Week 3. The fog begins to lift. If week 2 was a glimmer, week 3 was the sunrise. The changes were no longer subtle. The biggest improvement was my mental clarity. That brain fog that had been my constant companion was noticeably receding. I felt sharper and quicker. I wasn't searching for words mid-sentence anymore. My thoughts felt organized. It was like switching from a blurry standard definition TV to crisp 4K. This is where I really started thinking about that research on cerebral blood flow. Scientists have found that cocoa flavonols can help the brain work more efficiently. That's exactly how it felt. Thinking just wasn't such hard work anymore. My energy also kept climbing. I was waking up feeling more refreshed and had the energy for my morning walks. On day 21, I rated my energy a 7.5 and my mental clarity an 8. I even tackled a project I'd been putting off for months, organizing my financial records with a focus I hadn't had in years. The feeling was empowering. Week 4. The new normal and a shocking realization. By the final week, this felt like my new normal. The steady energy, the clear mind. It wasn't a fluke. The 3 p.m. slump was a distant memory. I had sustained energy all day long. But the most shocking moment came on day 28. I do a bit of woodworking, and a few days earlier I'd gotten a nasty splinter. Normally a cut like that would get red and stay sore for a week. But I glanced at my hand and realized it was almost completely healed. Barely a mark. And that's when it clicked. The stem cells. That UCSF study wasn't just an abstract paper anymore. It showed that high flavonol cocoa could dramatically increase circulating stem cells, the body's internal repair system. These are the cells that rush to an injury to rebuild tissue. Was my quicker healing a direct result of this experiment? I can't prove it without a blood test, of course, but the timing was uncanny. It felt like my body's ability to repair itself had been switched into a higher gear. On day 30, my final journal entry was a world away from where I started. Energy, a consistent 8/10. Mental clarity, a solid 9/10. I feel like myself again, but a version from 10 years ago. The skepticism is gone. I'm a believer. So, after 30 days, what's the final verdict? When I started, my energy was a 4 out of 10. It was a daily battle. Today my baseline is a solid 8. It's not a hyper-caffeinated buzz, but a calm, steady energy that lasts all day. The difference is night and day. But the most profound change is in my mental clarity. That thick brain fog I rated a 5 out of 10 is virtually gone. I'd put my clarity at a 9 out of 10. My focus is sharp, My memory feels more reliable, and my thinking is faster. It's like a light has been turned on in my mind. There were other unexpected benefits too. My mood has improved. I just feel more optimistic. Some preliminary studies from Loma Linda University have suggested that dark chocolate with high cacao content can positively impact mood and reduce stress. And, as I said, my body just seems to heal faster, a change I can't help but connect to that potential boost in stem cell activity. Looking back, my personal experience aligns surprisingly well with the science. The research suggested that high flavanol cocoa could improve blood flow, boost cognitive function, and mobilize the body's regenerative cells. And that's exactly what it felt like. I went into this a hardened skeptic and came out of it a convert, not because of hype, but because I experienced it myself. So, back to the big question, did eating dark chocolate every day for 30 days really work? For me, the answer is a resounding yes. It was more effective than anything else I've tried, and the results have been truly remarkable. But if you're thinking about trying this, you have to do it right. This isn't a license to eat any chocolate you want. The magic is in the method. Here are my practical tips. First, choose the right chocolate. This is the most important rule. You need a dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao. Milk chocolate is mostly sugar and won't give you these benefits. Read the label. Second, mind the dosage. My experience was based on a moderate amount, about 2 small squares a day or 20-30 grams. More is not necessarily better. Third, timing is key. I found having my chocolate in the morning or early afternoon worked best. Dark chocolate has a bit of caffeine and theobromine, and you don't want that messing with your sleep. And finally, be consistent and patient. The biggest benefits for me didn't kick in until week 3. This is a cumulative process. You're supporting your body's systems, so give it at least 30 days to see what happens. 30 days ago, I was tired of feeling tired and foggy. I started this experiment half expecting to prove it was just a fad. Instead, I discovered a simple, enjoyable, and scientifically supported way to reclaim my energy and mental sharpness. Eating dark chocolate daily hasn't just been a treat. For me, it's been a transformation. This journey has been a powerful reminder that sometimes, big changes can come from the simplest habits. It's not a magic pill, but it's the closest thing I've found. I'm really curious to hear from you. Have you ever tried a 30-day challenge like this? Have you experienced the benefits of dark chocolate for yourself? Let me know your story in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and here's to our health.